Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aegis Executioners League. Now we're on week number 4, so more exciting action to come today. I'm here with the Fallen Sanctum. How are you doing today?
My brain cells are absent, so if my comedy routine's off today, forgive me. The Esports World Cups and MSI have not been very kind on my schedule.
Yeah, us Western fans have not had it very good lately, but
Hey, at least Worlds is in NA this year, okay? Like that's all we can ask for.
That's true. But, you know, looking back to today, we got two teams facing off in the AEL League. We got the Theory of Everything versus SYN Squirtle Squad. So these are two very different teams with their run of AEL so far. SYN Squirtle Squad are currently number 3, and Theory of Everything is number 2 in the Chemtech group. But what's weird is there's a full 3 games difference between these teams and how much they've played. So SYN Squirtle has played 7 games. Theory of Everything has only played 4. So very different showings for these two squads so far, but 2 pretty successful ones so far.
But you know, sometimes we can attribute the winning too much philosophy to be kind of a bad thing, you know, because you kind of want the games experience. So you take a look at T1. Sometimes they'll do good, and then they come in 3 weeks later not having played a game, and then they get stomped out by BLG at EWC, because you know, if you 2-0 everyone, you don't get to play your full amount of games, so it doesn't matter. You don't get to practice on the patch where apparently you're not that great.
I mean, that's exactly what Theory of Everything are victims to here. They got a break in week 1, so they didn't play at all, and then they just 2-0'd the last 2 weeks. So now they're here, only 4 games played. They look pretty good when they do play, and I know some of the players on both these teams. Some remnants of them stuck around when I used to play AEL, so I know a little bit about some of these players, but I'm expecting a good show today too.
Okay, well, I mean, I hope so. I'll be honest. My sleeping schedule is so messed up. My brain's fractured. So I just want some clean, quality gameplay. Hopefully, it goes to 3 if my brain can last that long. But other than that, you know, like. Please just have some drafts that make some sense. We've seen so many drafts that just lose the chance to like no more. Please don't draft as bad as G2 did in Esports World Cup. Please, I'm begging you. Perk style is not the real style. # bring back Dylan.
Oh, very controversial already. Just a couple minutes.
100%.
All right, well, maybe we can take a look at our teams here. We got Theory of Everything, Boltzmann. They are, again, 2-0, 4-0 scoreline. They got Proton Plat Player in the top lane. They got Witch Chat in the jungle. They got Thunder McBusters in the mid lane. They got Boostus in the bot lane and Wanderer in support. So very strong lineup here.
Complicated names to pronounce. But on the other side, we've got SYN Squirtle Squad with Kuzu in top lane, Cord JJ in jungle, Cloudberry in mid, Cold on AD carry, and D-Shot on support with a lot of long... Oh, okay. So I just heard that Duddy Brains, current substitute, is going to be replacing Cord JJ, at least in the jungle, for game number 1.
Right. We had some interesting substitutes I saw in these teams' histories over the first couple weeks. Particularly with Theory of Everything, they had their top laner play jungle in week 1 or the first time they played in week 2. So kind of interesting situations with subs with both these teams so far. But as far as we know, it is only the 1 sub today, so we should be mostly at full strength. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how the meta's been shaping up? I did see some mage bot lanes.
Okay. So there's actually like a triangle, right? Okay, so if you pick Ziggs, they pick Victor. And if they pick Victor, you pick Cassiopeia. Now, okay, here the reasoning, right? Ziggs gets good poke on Cassio because he outranges a Noxious Blast with the Bouncing Bomb. But Victor, the Doom Beam, has longer range than Bouncing Bombs. Yeet. range. So at the end of the day, the victor can get the Lost Chapter first, continue poking properly, and when you get the second Doom Beam or Death Ray or Arcane Blast or whatever you want to call it since it got reworked. Okay, I forgot the name. It just ends up being better for Victor to be bot lane. The problem is Victor isn't good at taking turrets, and neither is Cassio. So if you're gonna play a mage like that in the bot lane, you need something like a Leona or maybe a Camille, because you need a support that's willing to do a lot of heavy lifting. With the Ziggs, though, your main focus is to get all these grubs. Because if you get the triple grubs, then Ziggs alone with a turret is like me with a bag of McDonald's. It lasts like 2 seconds.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm not personally a huge fan of the mage bot lanes. I think it's fine. I think like you should.
I'll be honest. If you play mage bot, I want to see AD mid. I do not care.
Yeah.
Give me assassins in the mid lane. I don't want to see no Roa, Rocket Belt, Leandri's Rylai's mid laner that has 4,000 HP at like 26 minutes. Nah. Give me like Zed versus Kiana or something, or Nefiri versus Talon. I don't care. Froxon, add the buffs. Chop.
It's funny, I think the one match I have watched of EWC so far was the Lion Elimination Series versus Brazil.
Oh.
And
yeah,
they got beat by mage bot lanes in both games. It was like Cassiopeia and Anivia, and it was very brutal to watch.
Here's the fun thing, right? Inspired goes on cam after the G2 win over T1 and says, T1 must have just really been playing badly. We know G2 sucks. Okay, then they shitstorm G2 3-0 like they've never lost a game against them, which to be fair, Leon personally never has, or Inspired has never lost the Cavs. And then we got to EWC. Well, first they leave MSI by losing to an Eastern team because they can't ever beat an Eastern team.
Almost there though.
Almost quotation marks. You gotta win the final Nexus to get out of the allegations, right? And then they get to EWC. I think they lose to, I want to say JDG.
Correct.
Because the top bracket was best of 1. Elimination bracket is best of 3. For some reason, don't ask me. I'm not from the UAE. I don't make these rules. But then they lose to some team called MIBR. I think it's the 3rd seed from the CBLOL. Not gonna lie, outside of the core regions and the LJL, I don't really know any of these wildcard teams. They don't have English broadcasts, and they don't have English subbed broadcasts, so I can't even understand them. If I want to understand them, I'd have to learn a whole new language. So Lion, who talked mad shit about G2, lost to this random no-name team that honestly no one knew about. But anyways, let's get back into the draft real quick. Some very interesting bans, though there are some stipulations, okay? Specifically in China, we've seen Tiger Deer make a bit of a resurgence in top lane as an answer to the cheese range picks, okay? Because Tiger Deer, when you have the awakened passive or whatever Udyr's passive is called, I forget. I just, the eyes, they glow, okay? You do the 2 hits and then you get smited by whatever deity you believe up above, okay? And it does an insane amount of damage. In ranged champions, they don't build HP. They build Hex. They build experimental Hexblade, if anything, but they don't build any HPs. They go from 100 to 0 after 3 auto attacks, and it's hilarious. We see the Orianna, the Nefiri ban, the common dog wave combo that we've seen. Since Nocturne has been taking a bit of a hit, as without the Orianna combination, it's a little bit weaker in terms of what it can bring. I'm a little bit surprised, though, to see the Ziggs into the Ashe. Normally, the second you see Ashe, you lock and melt, because then Ashe can't play the game. The second she ults herself, and, well, it's just free. You can return every volley, every Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so much to the point that Ashe players have started trying to bait with Hawkshot, of all things, to try and force the rebuttal early. It's because it's the same animation on most skins, outside of 2, where it's distinct. I do like the Nautilus though. Ashe, very immobile. There's no Gale Force, and you won't see Rocket Belt Ashe. This is an ARAM Mayhem where she has critical missile. So yeah, I really do like the Ziggs Nautilus. It's a kind of a double-edged sword, Red, because Ziggs is about like the go away, leave me alone, and Nautilus is about we going at two. But I've been sipping with Leona, but like Leona, I feel is just a better answer compared to the Braum when it comes to something like a Nautilus, because you really want to have that going in agency. And the big problem with Braum is Braum can go in on a minion, but like your AD carry sometimes has to be the minion, and when there's a Nautilus, your AD carry doesn't want to be a minion. Your AD carry wants to run away and go eat that bowl of fried rice at home. So we are seeing the Nocturne though, which, you know, honestly, after the Orianna ban, a little bit weird, but could stipulate that we're maybe trying to find something like a Nico in the mid lane, because sometimes, you know, the turn the lights off team comp still wants to get some magic in. Honestly, I don't know much about the champion pools for either of these two, but it seems like we've been watching a bit of EWC. We've seen some solo Nocturne, but the thing that worries me about solo Nocturne lately is that it's been Stridebreaker first before Hexblade, so it means that your first ult isn't actually important, which is normally what I guess determines the tempo of Nocturne, right? Because when you get the ability haste on the Paranoia, you're like saving 25 seconds on that rank 1 ultimate. So 25 seconds is the difference between a Skull Crab spawning and a Skull Crab dying. So that's all. And we see the Wukong here. It pairs well with the Nautilus. You know, they need a way to go in, because Nautilus being the only dive buddy alone is very bad, because fun fact, champion has the highest average deaths in competitive worldwide since LoL's release. This champion, by the way, did not come out in the beta, so you know that's a lot of deaths.
Yeah, I mean, I really like what both teams have set up so far. I will say Wukong is the highest presence pick in the league still. I think like 23 games in like 4 weeks already, so definitely is a priority pick for a lot of these teams. I do think that Ziggs is pretty interesting. Like you said, he's pretty self-stable. But we're banning the mages.
But that's more of a mid-lane matchup.
Yeah. I don't know. But look, we'll be the Aurora here, actually. So probably just some protection bans there.
That's kind of nice. Though, to be fair, Aurora has kind of a weird build path nowadays, because noticeably on Electrocute champions, you want to go Luden's Tempest into normally Rocket Belt or Shadow Flame, depending on your matchup. We're picking it blind here, so assuming it's going to be Electrocute, because we sometimes see the, what is it called, Deathfire's Touch? The blue orb? Mm-hmm. That's the pokey thing that burns. It's called Deathfire's Touch.
Yeah.
Is it the name of that master? Yeah. But against squishier champions that don't tend to build HP, you just go Electrocute. It's better value. For Aurora, it's a single auto attack and any ability.
Yeah. I've definitely been in lane against Aurora and gotten all of my health taken away by one trade. So, but it will be the Hui and Mordekaiser as the response here. Hui, I like, you know, you can at least keep your range from Aurora most of the time. So it's not a great matchup, but you should be able to just wave clear. And Mordekaiser blind is very interesting. Maybe predicting a tank top lane here for the side of Squirtle. So trying to counter that before they drop down the gauntlet.
I'm a little bit surprised though, you know, you see the Leona, you see the Ashe, you see the Nocturne, and you pick Hui, the only champion that can contribute in a long-range team fight outside of a, I want to say it's a Severum Bolt, the Q W? Because QQ is Fireball, QE is Bromald, QW is Thunderbolt, and yet this is what I'm worried about. Like the Mordekaiser and the Hui, we're blind picking this Mordekaiser, by the way, which, I mean, Mundo not necessarily the most OP laner, but we are coming to realizations that they don't have an answer the Mundo button by level 16. So, you know, and Mundo level 16, unlike a lot of other champions, his ult gains significant buffs, because normally he gains flat healing and stuff from missing, but at rank 3 it gains a multiplicative scale per nearby enemy champion. So if Mundo press Ghost or because normally it's like Ghost TP on the Mundo. You don't really need to justify the flash. I mean, sometimes you can, but against the likes of Mordekaiser, I don't think it would be that smart. But like, you pop the ult, and who's gonna build anti-heal here? Right? Probably the Ashe? Assuming the Ashe is fed? Because with how the support quest works, right, and hear me out on this, I don't understand why it's phased like this. At 3 minutes, the penalty for leaving bot lane disappears. So you are no longer your 80 carries support. Nah. You are the team's support. So if you do not roam to make plays for your mid laner, who's clearly an aggressive pig, or your top laner who can easily cheese kills pre-6, because if you've ever heard of blunt force trauma, well, try hitting your head on the wall. We'll see, you're not going to remember much the next day. But yeah, no, so I'm not, I'll be honest. I feel like if TB, I was going to call them Toe, because Fury of everything, right? Yeah, if they want to get something done, at least in the early game, this Leona's gonna need to roam, because there's no way this Ashe gets prio bot lane. And for Dragons, I'm gonna be honest, I love Corporate Mundo, and sometimes when you pop ult and you are not in combat, you go so fast you get into the car. So I want to see the Mundo drive-bys, okay? Like the drive-by, suitcase to the face, blunt force into the wall, kumbaya! Say hallelujah, you know? Like, I want to see the famous swatted like a mosquito Mundo drive-by. And it's going to happen to Ashe or Hui, because everyone else builds HP. So technically speaking, it's, you know, a little bit hard. But also, one thing I've been really liking, sorry, like monopolizing the space.
No, you're all good. I love the analysis.
I gotta use my last 2 brain cells fighting for third place for while they still exist, right? I really like that Heartsteel champions have been coming back into the meta, because Heartsteel by itself, right, gives 1,000 HP. The best current regular HP item in the game, if supplemented with the Warmogs, because Warmogs works on item health, not bonus health. It was broken when it was bonus health, that's why they had to change it to item health, because then Ornn would just gain 2,000 HP for free by being level 17. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, Ornn pass kind of busted, especially if you upgraded someone's Heartsteel. Like your starter jungle, oh yeah, I'll go. Yeah, give me the stats. Oh yeah. So yeah, no, I don't know. I just like, we've seen a lot of weird Mordekaiser builds, but normally it's Rylai's T2 boots into something like Liandry's, or the what's the Abyssal Mask for AP champions? It's the it builds out of the hunting guys. It's the third item.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah. It's like the MR shred, because Mordekaiser's passive is always active in combat technically.
Love letters first, I think.
Yeah, there you go. So, but like the thing is that Mordekaiser's itemization kind of sucks versus a Mundo, and if Mundo takes a single detour to build some MR and Ashe isn't ahead, he's laughing straight to the bank. I can't sing because I don't want it to get copyrighted, right? Because I know it's a copyrighted song. But yeah. At the end of the day, honestly, for Squirtle Squad, things just look good. Honestly, if you don't play like G2, where you let your jungler get perma-invaded like 6 times in 10 minutes, that Nasus had no CS. Go watch that game. It is honestly a national tragedy. Like, it's more of a tragedy than when they took the McRib off the menu, okay? Like, it was crazy. But yeah, like, unless this Nocturne goes Canyon mode and literally just 1v9s. By the way, I don't know if you saw. Are you planning on watching the games, or can I spoil?
You can spoil it for me.
Okay, Faker set a world record. Faker set a world record for most kills in a mid laner in a single game.
Wow.
For a best laner. Yeah, he had 20 kills on his namesake champion. For some reason, people think it's fine to give Chovy, Orianna, to give Faker, Silas, and stuff like that, and then you're not supposed to expect these players with basically world skins on their like champions to do anything with them. It was like I'm mind blown sometimes. But I think the win condition here for Toe, the theory of everything, is that bot lane proactivity and mid lane needs to be ahead. You have to put this mid lane ahead. Because if Aurora gets fed, Aurora's going to go Spellslinger shoes after getting her X-Tech alternator by the time she finishes that quest, and she's going to one Shockwave at level 6. It's not even going to be funny. The monkey isn't even going to have to come out of the jungle, you know, no banana peel, slip and trip, you know. You're going to get gobsmacked by, like, the cutest Freljordian you've ever seen. So... like, you gotta be careful. Like, especially that pre-6, you cannot be taking electrocute hits. If we're going electrocute. I don't know if we're going to the Deathfire's touch or whatever, but I feel like specifically on Aurora, if you do not go electrocute versus someone who isn't proactively building HP, you are fundamentally disrespecting yourself. And these games, they go by fast. We're talking 30, 37, like 28 to 37 minutes average game time in this current league. I believe the producer can correct me if he has the numbers, but I've been doing some rough math on no brain cells. So, this is not 2019 Korea where 55-minute games, 4-kill games. You know, it's not a single team fight, the Nexus explodes. No.
Yeah.
Okay, like if you are down 5,000 gold at 16 minutes, my brother, stop forcing team fights. Please, like, just stop. Just play the lanes, push out, ward with people, not alone, and then maybe by God's grace, you'll be given a second chance. But if there's a 6-0 Lee Sin by 8 minutes and he's got a Sundered Sky or an Eclipse or a Hubris, Lord knows what he feels like beating you up with, you cannot complain. But though, given the champions we have here, the most prolific thing we could see Squirtle Squad do is have Aurora upgrade a Dark Seal into a Magi's before finishing the Ludens. Which, to be fair, every stack on the Magi's is worth more than current inflation, so it's pretty good. Mages are eating well. Every time mages get nerfed, guess what? They get harder to kill, because instead of removing what makes an item OP, we just make it more OP for champions that could benefit from it, but the champions that don't need to benefit from it abuse it more. You know?
Yep. So many oversights there. It could be kind of crazy with the items. But you had mentioned the drive-by Mundo. Does that mean you're going for a Cloud Soul? Is that your guess? For
I want Cloud Soul. Because look, you look at Nihilus. Honestly, even Ziggs with Cloud Soul becomes unkillable. He ults, and how do you lock him down? Away. He can outrun the Nocturne's ultimate. It's like, all right, I'm peace out. I got Satchel. I got. He's gonna go to town, bro.
Yeah, I think I'll go with. I'm debating between Infernal or Chemtech. You know, Chemtech is the group, so I'll go Chemtech. I see Mundo. I want to see some crazy heals. I think I'll do Chemtech for this first game. But I imagine we're already getting into that spectator delay, but we'll probably take a very quick break here, and we'll see you on the Rift for game number 1. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift, game number 1. I'm already seeing a couple ignites out here, which is pretty cool. But talk to me a little bit about these matchups and what we should expect in the early game.
All right, so when it comes to the mid lane, right? So it's Aurora's job to kind of do everything. She's like the boyfriend in the relationship. She's got to work the 9 to 5. She's got to pay for the Netflix. She's got to remember to have food in the fridge. When it comes to this way, he's just looking to farm. He doesn't want to interact with the Aurora at all, like ever. Like if he could spend his life not seeing this Aurora till like the level 11 and they have like 2.5 items each, he'll be perfectly fine. But Aurora wants to try and get kills, wants to get aggressive. In this bot lane, I expect Cloudberry to have insane amounts of pressure. With what you just saw, a bouncing bomb that could hit through the volley and past the volley's range to clear the backline. It's kind of expected. In this top lane, though, Proton Plat has a lot of work to do because early game Mundo kind of sucks. But then again, it depends. Does the Mundo respect you or does he not, right? Because sometimes you'll see a Mundo build magic resist in double AP matchups, right? And sometimes you'll see him just build HP. So is the Mordekaiser going to get the accurate read and build the Liandry's early? So that way his poke is sustained? Or will he build Rylai's and then just watch Mundo not be affected? Sometimes people do not read abilities. And the only way to pop the pill on Mundo is to ult him or to land a lollipopped Death Grasp. Death Grasp being the pullback here on Mordekaiser. So.
Yeah, I think as far as like top lane goes being against Mordekaiser, I think Mundo is one of the better tanks. He tends to do a little better. Just, you don't get pulled back on the first round with the CC immunity and you can heal a lot of the damage. But, it's still never fun, as obviously Proton Plat player will have Prio here for basically the entire early game.
Also, one thing to notice, a big thing you are supposed to do against Mundos, right, because they will tend to use the Infected Cleaver to try and farm, you want to make sure that you body block the cannon minions specifically, because cannons a lot of XP, a lot of money, right? And if they're depending on their Q farming skills to get it, right, because sometimes they won't have the priority to be farming these cannons like in melee or to just eat them when they get low, you can deny them quite a bit by just body blocking, specifically just the cannon minion, not every minion, just cannon minion. And it'll give you the first level 6 if you have better lane timings. But here we go, a team fight.
Ignite comes out. Yeah, actually flash forward Kuzu waiting for the last smash down. It doesn't actually hit. So walking away with the ghost gets the slow, but now you're trapped. There's nowhere to go. You got 2 members coming at you. Who will get the kill? First blood goes over to the Nocturne, and that's a great way to start the game for the TEB jungler.
Honestly, if I'm Squirtle Squad, I'm actually happy Nocturne took the kill. Because the second Mordekaiser gets that first completed item, the lane like completely shifts if Mundo is just sitting on components. But with Mordekaiser only really getting 100 gold, it's not that bad. What I'm more worried about is look at this bot lane. We're almost a wave up. Boostus has almost no HP. He's missing a couple of minions. And with that gang top lane, we've got Duddy already on the invade.
Yeah, I imagine we are going to see a lot of that, trying to just get in and steal those raptor camps in particular. Honestly, Witch Hat could walk towards enemy raptors right now as they're about to spawn back up. We'll see if they end up doing so, because there is some gold to spend, but it is an option.
It was pinged, but Botter here proactively gonna pop the Scryer's Bloom ahead of time and kind of just push him off. It was a Nocturne great in the 1v1 scenario because of his passive. You're going to be fighting over a jungle camp, hitting a large monster, right? That means you get the Umbral Blades more often, and Nocturne gets to do what Nocturne wants to do. But the second there's another laner and they're hitting you from range, it's just like, oh, I'm a melee character. What am I supposed to do?
The classic range versus melee troubles, but
why can't
one thing I do want to say is I've played against Wanderer before, and their tag in game is Chime, and they are known for their Bard, who, if you're not aware already, is a very, very, very heavy roaming support. So I'm hoping that we see some movement around the map pretty soon from both supports here. You were mentioning that they already are no longer trapped in the bot lane, So maybe we'll get some more action on the map. Maybe we'll get some more roams. I know that Wanderer loves to do that.
Ooh, another cannon denied. That's 2 cannons denied for Kuzu.
Yep, top lane is still going about as we expected, but Kuzu is holding on, matching CS at least for now, despite having the 1 death. But honestly, I want to point out too, Thunder is doing very well in this mid lane matchup. You know, Aurora unable to get any kills so far, barely has a CS lead, so definitely Thunder on the winning part of that matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, Fury of everything pretty happy. Overall, you know, the Nocturne getting accelerated a little bit, and it looks like he is going experimental, so as a proper build. We also see Proton has read the Mundo passive, so he's just going to go Leandre's to make sure that these trades matter. Yeah, the way the only lane struggling a bit is the bot lane, but I mean, Ashe should always struggle into most mages.
Yes, definitely. Getting outranged is hard as an AD carry in general, but even just looking at the Ashe pick across the board, I think it's going to be a really tough game to be the Ashe here. You know, Mundo's pretty hard to kill. You got Wukong who's going to be diving on you. You got Aurora who's going to be diving on you. You'll have the bombs coming in. You even might have a depth charge or a hook coming your way. It might be really hard to kind of pull this pick off. So really looking at the rest of Theory of Everything to get it done.
Okay.
Here's a hook down. Wanderer trying to just walk it off. Looks like there could be a jungle wraparound here soon from SYN squad, but we'll see if that turns into a dive.
We do have the Cyclone here. This could be pretty impactful. Nocturne. Wukong not gonna get spotted from the hawk shot, so they do not know. Plus, we have the dredge line here. The depth charge
right onto Boostis. Here's the dive. The Mega Inferno Bomb on top. A nice flash from Boostis actually. So they're trapped under the tower. D-Shot barely survives. The second round of the Cyclone might claim Boostis. No, manages to survive.
But Aurora?
It's just Duddy who goes down. But here's Aurora trying to at least pick up Wanderer. Between Worlds will get that one. But actually, Boostis manages to survive.
To be fair, it's been a while since we saw an Ashe land an arrow, because every time we're casting together, the Ashes that we cast tend to have their screens turned off, or at least when they ult. I'm not sure if it's a technical difficulty, but it does seem to be a struggle. But we see a beautiful Ashe ultimate here from Boostis. He levels up right as he gets knocked up, so he kind of just makes sure that Duddy's in trouble, and Duddy's got to decide who he wants to try and focus. Doesn't get to focus anyone. Boostis lives, has to burn both sums. But and at the end of the day, it's a 1-for-1 trade. And I'd be really happy if I'm Fury of Everything. You get the kill on the Ashe, which, you know, we said was going to struggle a bit, but, you know, a fat Ashe is a good Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Void Grubs that you want to be denying from the Ziggs, who really loves pushing turrets. Well, now he's not going to have his little chicken nuggets to help him push.
Yeah, it's really looking up for blue side here. You know, TEB definitely setting themselves up for success here in the early game. You got gold on the Nocturne, you got gold on the Ashe. Like you said, they denied those grubs. Hui is even in lane, which is exactly what you want at this point in the game. So definitely looking great for TEB.
But the thing is to note, even if TB have a 300 gold lead right now, there's 100 gold lead. My bad. There's a lot of burst from Squirtle squad. If any of the immobile carries, Mordekaiser, Hui, Ashe, get caught by like a Nocturne hook, sorry, not a Nocturne hook, Nocturne hook next. That'd be broken. A Nautilus hook, right? That Mega Inferno Bomb plus Between Worlds can 100-0 anyone on the team outside of
Absolutely.
Leona. But they do have to be careful. There's a lot of burst damage and some pretty good pokes. So getting to objectives, you're going to have to get there early. You're going to have to get the vision control. Because if you're not there early, you're walking into a minefield and everything.
Oh, starting a paranoia. Paranoia as well. Yeah, getting right onto Cloud is awesome. Ooh. The arrow actually connects 2 for 2 so far, but here's the rest of SYN here for the backup. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. So much burst damage onto Witch Hat. The Nocturne goes down. Flash forward with the secondary Cyclone. Gets the knockup. That's really good. Watch Boostis trying to kite out Between Worlds. Does too much damage. Wanderer stuck stuck in the middle of 4, has to flash out, might be able to trade one back. Actually, nice moves from Thunder. Does get the Aurora on the back end, but what a close bot lane skirmish.
So we mentioned how volatile the crowd control could be if it lands in the middle of a team fight. You see a Nocturne who had just ulted in. I don't believe he had the Hexblade right away. I think he just bought it, so gonna be a little penalized here on the ultimate, but saw this Nocturne went from 70% HP to 0% in the blink of an eye. So, you know, and jungle-wise, you know, unless you get super fed, sometimes you get put in the sunk cost fallacy of, I have to start giving up camps so that my laners can finish their core items first. Ooh, wow. Speaking of burst.
Those bouncing bombs hurt.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. In ARAM, funnily enough, Ziggs has 6 individual nerfs.
Oh, got the ultimate coming out as well as the Ignite. Kuzu opts the maximum dosage, trying to just heal through it, but that's so much damage. Gray health comes in handy, but it's not enough. Flash forward, and PPP gets the solo kill on the top side.
Yeah. We mentioned having to be able to deny the minions, like the cannons and stuff like that. And honestly, Proton Plat player, especially having the Ignite, he was forced to flash, but he got the ghost out of it. But he's been doing some solid combos, making sure he pops the pill before he ults, because fun fact, the ultimate is considered crowd control. So if you ult a Mundo with pill, nothing happens.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's as funny as Gangplank being able to eat some fruits.
Yeah.
I ate an orange.
I did say that Mundo is one of the better tanks to play into Mordekaiser, but that doesn't mean that it's very good still, as you can see the struggles that Kuzu's having here. But actually does cancel the reset there, as also on the bot side of the map, Fear of Everything claimed that first dragon. It was an ocean dragon, so we're both still in the running.
Yeah, I think Ocean as like an individual dragon, like as the first or second dragon in the game, is fantastic. Honestly, the percentage regen recovery rates you get from just a single Ocean dragon, especially on teams that like the skirmish. Mainly more for melee champions than range champions, but like for things like the Leona and the Mordekaiser, it's very, very helpful. It allows you to take some rather, let's say, worse off trades, and you can be happy about it. I'm surprised to see the Storm Razor first here on Ash. Normally we're expecting the what's it called, the Hexoptics plus PD combo.
Oh, Paranoia, no flash on the Ziggs anymore, fleeing under tower. 3v1 is not fair, but sadly it is Wanderer picking up the kill there. So, you know, you at least get the Ziggs, but it's always sad when a support gets the kill credit.
She was already feared through. Oh, here Baher looking to go in.
Nice fleet, Unending Despair does slow it down, so Thunder should be able to walk it off, but that is so much burst damage from the Aurora.
Yeah, but you see those MR boots. White did is like full combo. And like the MR shield timed out. It wasn't even broken.
Oh, wow. So as we move into the mid game here in the next few minutes, why don't we do another check? Never mind, no time for that, as the Aurora under threat in the mid lane. Nice stun, nice burst damage, even the exhaust coming out, and it will be Thunder picking up that kill with a nice roam from Wanderer.
Yeah, the slow on the exhaust sometimes catches a lot of people off guard, you know, like, yeah, it does cut your damage, but it also does you basically get withered for like 2 seconds, so it's pretty impactful in terms of that. So must have caught Baher by trouble, but he didn't have his flash since he had to use it. I'm not too sure for what, maybe the bot lane fight?
I think in the bot side, yeah, around the dive. But what I was going to ask you before I got so rudely interrupted by action in the mid lane was, as we move into the mid game, what do you think we should be expecting in the next few minutes? Lots of team fights, maybe tower takings, dives. What are you thinking?
Well, this team really wants to get the Mundo online to at least the 2-item mark where he has the hard steal, so he can start taking pro-positive trades here against Proton Plat, who's going more of the glass cannon route. You know, he's chosen offensive boots here so far. Oh.
Paranoia is coming out here. Yeah, Arrow did connect, but just seemed a little bit too early. Cyclone does so much to disrupt, though. Look at the Mega Inferno Bomb. So much damage. Wanderer has to flash out, but you're just dead either way. Double kill over to Duddy. Here's the Aurora. Picks up Boostus on the back end. And once again, it's only Thunder left to defend.
Ooh.
Oh, could this be enough damage? Duddy might just go down. Thunder's on a killing spree from off screen picking up kills. That is the first tower going down, though, as Kuzu might actually have a favorable trade into Propon Plat player, but opts not go in. Action all over the map, but it's actually SYN striking back.
I think Mundo had just finished his warm-ups. He had to buy the extra Giant's Belt to make sure he had the bonus health active for the regen. So that means if ever he takes a bad trade or whatever, by the time the next wave comes, he's already full health again. So but yeah, here we see a very early Paranoia, but the Nocturne is by himself. The Leona comes in, but I mean, your mid laner's not there to provide the covering fire, and we end up giving a double kill over to Duddy, and Bahar gets a kill here onto Boostus. We get a cleanup kill from Thunder, but still pretty sloppy work here by Fury of Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw just how hard it is for Boostus to play in this game there. Like the Ashe was hitting like anyone that she could, but not doing very much damage and just kind of always under threat, whether it was a bomb or a hook or the Cyclone or anything. There was just always something that seemed to stop Boostus from being able to DPS, and that's what I think is going to make it so hard for Theory of Everything's bot laner to play in this game. But looks like we could be looking onto Kuzu here, but I don't think that's really the side lane play that you want. So we see Witchat moving back towards bot side.
Yeah, but also the Ziggs already had 2 items. The Ashe has 1 item and components, right? So, you know, like the poke is getting more and more oppressive as time passes. So it's not getting any easier for this Ashe. She doesn't get any HP. She doesn't get any magic resist. She also went the Omnivamp boots. And did they have any stacks?
Kind of hard to see on the icon there, but yeah, I mean, you're just going to be such a threat.
It has 1 stack.
Okay.
Because it only counts from when you build. So I believe that was the assist. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go charge mid.
Yeah, hopefully they can claim this tower, just get a little bit of gold back, since they did lose the first tower gold, but now 2 turrets, and just a slight gold lead here, just under 1,000, so still not too bad for Theory of Everything.
That's a Chemtech dragon.
Oh, okay, so I'm glad I went for Chemtech. Oh wait, no, that's the second dragon, not Soul yet. Dang it! Well, you're still in the running then.
Yep. So, I think if I'm Squirtle Squad, focus on the Ziggs Aurora duo, kind of just terrorizing whatever lane they wanna push, and with the prio they get, while not having the grubs, with the prio they get just from Ziggs being able to destroy turrets on a whim, I think they should look to claim as much money as they can before this Ashe comes back into the game.
Yeah, and maybe going a little more in depth into what we were talking about earlier, what do you think about the Hui and trying to side lane? Because, you know, TEB are ahead just a little bit right now, but I think it's really hard for them to pressure with such squishy targets in the side lanes.
Yeah, the draft, I don't think the draft was built in mind with side laning as a possibility. You know, Hui, I mean, he's got like the flowing water waves to get away, but yeah, no, if ever Aurora plus a Ziggs ult decide to visit him while he doesn't have his flash, he's just dead. So it'd be a bit scary, but Mordekaiser takes the top lane turret here, at least answers a little bit.
Yeah, and I think looking at the main carries of SYN Squad, I think Kanik Rooker value is just crazy here, like any kind of MR really. But I'm looking mostly at burst damage. You know, Ziggs obviously has poke, but when you're in a team fight, it's really just going to be like a one-hit combo, you know, bouncing bombs with the Mega Inferno Bomb on top. So maybe we'll see some more MR built, because the only physical damage we're seeing here is Duddy on the Wukong. And right now, it's not going to be that much of a threat, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the one thing about the Mundo. If he's not ahead, he doesn't necessarily do that much. But he's got his core damage items because Mundo scales uniquely off of HP, even though it's physical damage. If I'm Kuzu here, I see the double AP threats, the 3-0 Hui. I'm gonna go like Spirit Visage, Koenig Rugen or Spirit Visage, Force of Nature, and I'm ready to just run over the game.
Absolutely. As we're setting up for some mid-game vision control battles here, I can imagine we're gonna get some skirmishes around the next objectives. I think it is really interesting that we're still 1-1 on the dragons at 21 minutes in. Next one's not spawning for about 2.5 minutes, so we're gonna have a pretty late Dragon Soul if we end up getting there, if no team's able to claim the game before then.
We're visually seeing right now what we call the NA RAM, where NA amateur teams or just NA teams in general will play ARAM with the AD carry to support in the jungle, and then if ever the mid laners or the top laners roam, sometimes we'll see a team fight. But other than that, it should be pretty quiet unless
Zenith Blade connects. There's the CC chain, but not enough. Exhaust coming out once again, but it's just Wanderer who actually takes the losing end of that trade. No way to get damage onto Paher there. But now Proton Plat player trying to press this tower, as we actually have flipped side lane matchups. I just noticed that. So you got Kuzu versus Thunder, and we got Paher versus Proton Plat player.
I'm not sure I like the lane assignments here for Theory of Everything. I mean, the Mundo was already losing to the Mordekaiser because of the pressure constant obliterates, but the Hui, he gets his combo off, pops the passive, and Mundo can just wait till the burst comes down. Yeah, but he's got a Warmogs.
Yeah, true.
So Hui does his full combo, has to recall. Now look at that region.
Yeah.
Oof.
I wonder if they're going to try and swap back now off the reset and try to just get Hui going back into Aurora in the side lanes. But even then, it's not really good for Thunder, so kind of just losing either way.
Well, looks they're keeping the same alignments, but they move Baher here to try and find Boostus.
Between Worlds, look at that damage onto Boostus. The arrow connects, but there's the Mega Inferno Bomb just on the edge. Actually does pick up the kill onto Ashe. Died with Barrier and Flash alive, actually. So I wonder if they thought that they were going to be out of the range, but just barely stayed inside of it. But tragedy for Theory of Everything here.
We've got ourselves a Mountain Soul this game, it looks like it, given the shape of the arena. So it looks like I'm out. My hopes for a Cloud, but now here's the thing, the Mundo, the stuffed crust on the turrets. He presses the Blunt Force Trauma, and he just gets a few plates for free. Gets almost a plate every wave. So ever he's left unattended, he just claims a free turret over the course of 2 waves. So that's Dragon has spawned now, so maybe we're seeing the rotation, we're seeing the TPs.
I imagine
so let's see who
we'll just start it up here. Proton Plat player leading the charge. Actually, flash pull, very nice. Just got Baher into the death realm here. So trying to take that kill right off the bat. Nice flash from the Aurora, but you're not going to survive when you're by yourself. So Proton Plat player separates the team fight. Gets a kill right off the bat for Theory of Everything. Now the Dragon is ticking down. Wanderer gets hooked and now is in the middle of the team. Is surviving for a while though. Look at the AoE damage from the Hui. Dragon's getting lower, but it is actually claimed by Witchat for TEB. But now you're under threat as the Nocturne getting walked down. Mundo claims that one, but look back, the rest of the team is gone. Kuzu now pops the maximum dosage though. Does get fleet away. Might be able to get some back here, but it's actually SYN Squad who are pushed on the back foot and they have to leave.
I mean, it's a 3 for 3 at the end of the day, but beautiful ult by Proton Plat player, just being able to find the Aurora to start the team fight. But Boostus, once again, kind of showed in the team fight that he can't really play the game. He got ran down by both Duddy and Kuzu in the team fight. Blew his flash and was still stuck in the pit and just died. So, hey, did a really good job by Thunder and Proton to hold the line down, but we've explained that this game is going to be really hard for boosters, and that team fight was no joke.
Yeah, very prime example right there. I think I don't really know what to do if you're TV, because your other carries are doing well. You could just focus on making sure Hui and Mordekaiser can do their job, and just say like, Boostus, sorry, you have to suffer. Or like you could try and protect the Ashe a little more, but then I think you're really losing value with your Nocturne Leona combo.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kuzu already started to build magic resistance, has the Spirit Visage, has 300 stacks on the Heartsteel, so he looks at Boostus once, Boostus dies. So it's nice that we have the Rylai's for Proton to be able to build a bit of space in the team fights, but this glass cannony Mordekaiser build is just gonna die to a couple of Ziggs bombs. As we see the Ziggs
Yeah, we're heading back to us for a little bit while the pause is getting figured out here. But yeah, I mean, really interesting. I think the builds have been like a highlight for me this game. They're building mostly burst, which is probably what you want. But like you said, for Mordekaiser, I'm looking at the other team, and I would really want some MR to not die immediately. So I think they're really banking on that first pick like we saw around Dragon. But that's pretty hit or miss once you get into the late game.
Yeah, because the more damage you build on a fighter, the faster you die, but the faster you can kill enemies. So it's a real double-edged sword. Do you get the pixel perfect ult onto Cloudberry or Bahar to make sure they don't have much of a mage in the team fight, or are you just ulting the jungler away from the objective and then watching your team probably just die because the Mundo was left alive, so it's the hard decisions here for Proton. It's a good early game, but by going Glass Cannon, it means as these mages eventually get their Void Staffs and their Death Caps and stuff, the damage is going to overwhelm the little amount of HP you've decided to build at the end of the day. So I don't know. It's the Sork shoes feel very, very inappropriate though.
Yeah. Definitely banking on those early kills there, trying to say, oh, it's fine, I'll keep building damage. I'm the carry here. You are doing well, but I would really look at my mid lane and be like, well, I would rather be a little bit longer, a little bit more of a front line, last a little longer in those team fights, try and peel my carries a little more. But that's what I think is so interesting about the Death Realm as Mordekaiser Ultimate, is there's so many different ways to use it. I've seen people literally, you ult the Yuumi and then you hit the Nexus because no one else can can target you. So you could literally end the game. It's a very, very powerful ability. So I'll really be looking at Proton Plat player. No stranger to Mordekaiser either. Has a lot of games on this champion. So I'm expecting some good things for better or for worse, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, Mordekaiser definitely hasn't been given the Ambessa treatment where, oh, my dear, my gorgeous, my darling, please don't cry.
Yeah.
So yeah, some champions unfortunately are stuck on Riot Forgot Me limbo, until there's a reason to make sure they're hype, they're not going to be hype.
Yeah. But I'm looking at more of the game state here while we're in a pause. Obviously, I think the main storylines we're building here is Thunder's kind of carrying for Theory of Everything, but the burst damage is really going to be a struggle for anyone on TEB's team. We're seeing Aurora get online, those between worlds, nearly just one-shot Boostus in the mid lane earlier. So I'm really looking at how they can play around the Ziggs poke as you're trying to set up objectives, and how you're able to actually engage team fights and start it. Because you really want the Nocturne to kind of, you can turn off the lights, but you want to be patient, I think, with going in. Otherwise, you're just going to get CC'd Mega Inferno Bomb in front of you one shot. So
you definitely,
I'm looking...
You definitely have to find, with the paranoia, you definitely have to find the right target specifically. And you're also, because Thunder is so fed here for Theory of Everything, you have to be fighting within the Hui AoEs, because that's what this champion does in team fights. It creates multiple patches of no-go zones, and the squishier champions Wukong, Wukong and Aurora don't necessarily want to be sitting in the spiraling despair. Well, the Mundo doesn't really mind too much. Ooh, we're getting
back right into a fight. Yeah, as Kuzu just losing so much HP here, can't even use the maximum dosage. as Proton Plat player, maybe the damage is paying off a little bit here, as we have our pause, don't fret. But yeah, we're back into it.
But yeah, no, I believe the maximum dosage just came off cooldown as he died, so he didn't have access to it. If not, I think it would have popped.
That makes sense. We're finally getting some supports moving around the map, but a little later than I would have hoped. So, fighting over vision. You know, one thing I think is also a big disparity between these two teams is, you know, Cloud can just sit in the mid lane and wave clear from forever away, where Boostis kind of has to walk up and hit minions if they want to keep prio, and that definitely puts the Ashe in a lot more danger.
Very often, are you in Nautilus ult range is the question Boostis has to play around, because if yes, if flash cooldown, me go bye-bye. It's like that Binding of Isaac little note, like, today I died.
Oh, the hook actually hits a minion though, but Boostis is still very, very dead as Duddy picks up that one. Here's the teleport coming in from Proton Plat player though. Wanderer trying to keep the fight going for now. Death Realm gets put onto Duddy, so now it's a 1v1. But look at the rest of the fight. Now you've left your team to the wolves, and now Cloud is on a killing spree. Took down Wanderer there. Now Proton Plat player is in a 1v4. Those extra stats are not enough. Kuzu takes the shutdown on the enemy top laner, and once again, it's just Thunder trying to hold down the fort while the rest of the team dies.
Because keep in mind, it's 10% of the person you killed. So you got AD, HP, and like 5 MR. Or 2.5 MR. So you got stats that are useless on the Mordekaiser. They not get any AP, they not get any armor or magic resist. Spot, I mean, 2.5 magic resist. But hey, look, that's 2 Shadow Flames. Scary items, but yeah, no, things are not looking that good. I mean, he did good ulting the Wukong, but by ulting the Wukong, it was open season for the Mundo to just be like, okay. Well,
yeah, that's the problem. I think this is like the tipping point where we're seeing like you can use the ult offensively, but it's probably better to use it defensively here. Just take Kuzu out of the fight and maybe give your team a chance to peel off Duddy, to peel off the Aurora, and maybe win it. But it's just such a tough decision in the moment.
And we're going Zeke's Convergence too, so I've seen this build in ARAM before, but normally you need the augment called Ult Bot, where CDR only affects
starting Baron?
Yeah, I guess.
Interesting. Baiting into a fight here, but, you know, Sin Squad definitely know it's happening, so it's really just TEB losing some HP here. But here's the arrow, though, onto the Aurora. That could be really good. Paranoia, Solar Flare combo. Got the Zanyas right at the end there, so managed to survive it a little bit longer. But look at Kuzu just running over the fight in the backline. So much damage. Thunder actually stays alive for now, so many kills traded back and forth. Kuzu with a triple kill right now. Looking for Thunder. Thunder is the target. Proton Plat player is actually doing a ton of work. Battle of the top laners here. Triple kills for both of them in this fight, but now I think it's over.
Yeah, the Baron stayed aggro, so even though Boostis used the barrier, he would have died to Baron the next second, and Witchat also had the Baron aggroed. Though here, TB is starting the Dragon up. I mean, they have good damage, they have double burn, so there's a chance they can take it before. And this would be Mountain Soul Point, which is actually pretty big.
Oh yeah, but they're walking in. I imagine the dragon will go down, but you might be stuck here if you don't take it quick enough. Actually, there is a chance to steal as they're walking in. No junglers for either team. Proton Plat player starts focusing down the Ziggs, and he actually gets it, though. The Hourglass will keep Cloud alive just a little bit longer. You trade your life for that ever-important dragon, but now it's Paranoia. We got a 1v4 here for Kuzu. No maximum dosage either. Will just go down. And now you could have another Baron angle if they want to take it.
Yeah, a little bit risky here by Squirtle Squad, but they did stop the dragon stacking, which honestly the important thing, because it means even if you lose the next dragon, it's not like the end of the game, right? And Baron, as we've stated time and time again, you know, not the strongest objective this season. If you have great sieging potential, which most teams don't.
Here's Wanderer, but just trying to zone for now. Hook goes wide. The Baron is burning. We have double burn items on this objective, but It will be much easier to burst. The health bars are already low. Wanderer just flashes, trying to keep Duddy out. This chain CC is really good here, actually, as the Baron does go down between worlds. Isn't enough, does damage to everyone. Mega Inferno Bomb actually hits 4, but it's still not enough. SYN just have all their damage spread out. Now Cloud's gonna go down next. A double kill for Proton Plat player. Wanderer keeps the fight going. D-Shot might be able to get back to the tower here, but so much CC, and here's the damage get pulled back. Now that's 4 dead. Only Kuzu is left alive for SYN Squirtle Squad.
This is probably. I mean, they have a big wave. Unless Mundo gets to clear it, this could maybe be the end of the game. That was a crazy throw here by Squirtle Squad. There was no need to. Oh, yeah.
Oh, here's Paranoia. Kuzu does have a lot of healing despite having the heal cut on. But yeah, it's just going to force the end of the game. And TEB, after a crazy Baron play, they win the fight and they win the game. There's game 1 in the books.
Oh, you said they only had 4 games played out of the 4 games they played, and they won all of them. So they still keep their impeccable 100% win ratio. No nonsense here. They killed everyone at Baron. They're like, it's just a Mundo. He can't clear the wave. We'll just turn the lights off and we'll win the game. And honestly, the big fumble here by Squirtle Squad. I think you can easily give up this Baron. You still had your inner turrets, like your inner turret line, so I don't think it would have been that bad of an issue. If anything, it would have worn off before like the Mountain Soul Point, because you had taken the second, you had managed to stop the stacking, and at the end of the day, it's just a little bit crazy, but beautiful game by Proton and Thunder. Honestly, bringing up the rear wall boosters was honestly playing training dummy simulator. Poor guy was being milked for XP.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what you get for being first picked. Ashe is strong, but when you first pick, you're just laying down all of your weaknesses as well. And I think that's something we saw pretty well handed out here by SYN Squad. They wanted to make sure that boosters could play the game, and I think they did that, but it was at the sacrifice of the game itself. But do you have an MVP for this game number 1?
Honestly, I to go with Proton Plat player. He's got 16 KDA. He's got 20 plus K more damage than his mid laner, who's deathless. And his ults were actually, like, in the latter half of the game, they were actually kind of fantastic, isolating the proper targets, especially at that dragon fight before the Baron spawn. He just looked at Cloudberry, and Cloudberry exploded. So, I mean, it is what it is. He got to do what he needed to do to build a little bit skeptical, but hey, sometimes, like Inspired said, when you play against good teams, you have to take risks. And he indeed took the risks that won him the game. I'm not too much of a fan of the super ultimate haste build, but hey, at the end of the day, what the ultimate is what wins you the game. If you recognize that it's the only win con you can go for and you won't survive even if you have 2 tanky items, then go for it. But good job the Proton Plat player, and if they move 5-0 so far in score, I'd see if they can clutch out the sweep, or if Squirtle Squad will maybe not fumble throw a Baron, because this is giving me EU versus Korea vibes. It's just like, oh, we're up 5k, oh, they're starting Baron, oh, we have to stop it. Wait, guys, why did we lose?
Yep.
It's happened so many times against Eastern teams that Europe and NA are like, okay, we have the gold advantage, we have the manpower. Oh wait, why did we lose the Baron fight? Oh.
Yep.
Okay. But that was the last game of the series? Yep. Okay.
Yep, that was the end. But we have one more game at least here.
Yeah, at least.
Their win rate, as you said. But honestly, Duddy did really well as a sub here too. We'll see if they're still playing in the jungle in game number 2. But I think we're going to take a really quick break before we get into Champ Select for game number 2. So see you there.
日本限定あ全マーケットを捕まった
今日は老舗をしっかり見て回らなくちゃね。
いやいや、ここはジャンル順でしょ。
名前順の方がいいんだよ。
現代か洋大の名前順？ ローマ字それともひらがな？僕は色で並べるのが好きなんだけどね。お、全部に対応させよっか。おお、80年代のホラーゲーをください。これでみんな幸せ。
ありがとう、全マーケット。
All right, welcome back. Straight into draft here for game number 2. We have to see if TEB can make another maybe surprising win is what we'll call that first one. But what do you think? Oh, I don't know if I can hear it. I don't know if that's a me problem or if you're muted here.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, I had to put the.
There you go. Go ahead.
So, didn't want the mic leaking, you know. If I was the coach and I see my team throwing 4v5 at Baron when we just took Dragon, I'd just be like, maybe we don't got into this anymore. Maybe next week we'll be back as a real team. But I like the adaptation of the bans. You know, we're seeing the Ari, we're seeing the Fury we saw last game. The Seraphine is nice. She does pair well with other champions than just Ashe. And now that Ashe is gone, you know, you don't want to see the male Seraphine or the Seraphine Pike. Whatever. But any of those crazy T1 or HLE combinations, we don't need to see those here. We want to see proper front to back, but I mean, to be fair, now that the Ziggs is gone, it loses a little bit of pressure on the Syndra and the Victor pick. So maybe we'll have more traditional AD carries, maybe something like Ezreal Varus or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the mage bot lane. I'm a fan of the mage bot lane if we get Assassin's mid, but we never get Assassin's mid, so I can never be fine with it, you know, because when you cut out all
There's
that
an
AD,
assassin mid.
Okay, but it's an AP assassin, so it means we need an AD carry, right? You know, you gotta balance out the damage somehow, because when you play mage bot and then you have no AD carry and they just build double MR items, you're just like, bro, where's my damage? I have 6 items, I can't kill that tank. You ever read Leandri's? I heard it's not that bad of an item against tanks. But ooh, okay, I like this. I like this. Sort of counter pick. If Akali plays through the minions well enough, sometimes the never move can be a little bit janky, but it should be a good stabilizing pick, at least for Theory of Everything. We saw Thunder kind of just roll over of Bahar last game, where he gave up no kills, he got a ton of kills, he never died. So honestly, as a control mage player, if you have a flawless KDA, you're kind of happy. Well, I like the Amumu too, because the Amumu kind of means we're getting an Abyssal Mass, so it means the Swain does more damage, and I don't know if we get like the Rumble or whatever in the top lane, then you know it's gonna be a nice bundle of hot cheese.
Yeah, I think it was TEB who a couple weeks in a row they played MF Seraphine as like a combo, which I think is why they banned the Seraphine, and means we could see an MF here. You know, you got the Amumu ultimate. That is some great setup for a very, very big bullet time. But we'll see what the response is from SYN Squirtle. They'll go with the Olaf. All right, we got a very interesting draft here. Not very common picks on either side.
Well, you see a lot of CC and rather low damage. And you're assuming that's either top lane Swain or mid lane Swain, and that's more than likely jungle Amumu. If it's support Amumu, then you just don't care, because he's gonna die to a single axe, right? But if it's jungle Amumu and you get ganked, you press R and you kill whoever looks tastier. Right? You're at a barbecue and you're holding the cooking utensils. I like the Varus here, but you know, specifically like Swain goes Rylai's and stuff. So on hit, you're rather short range. I don't know if we're gonna see much. Maybe AP, because Akali's like more burst than anything, and AP Varus is like pseudo on hit, pseudo AP. If not, we did see, I believe it was the Chinese AD carry for JDG. AGAL. Hope against G2 played like lethality Varus, and it looked fantastic into Ezreal. That map a little bit less so, but you know, you see the wombo, expect the combo. They are banning the Sylas. I do like the Sylas ban, because Amumu is kind of nasty when it has unfiltered scaling. And also, you know, Sylas with a Swain ult, it's a little bit nasty.
Not fun.
No, because he builds a lot of AP, so it's a lot of damage, you know.
But I like what what TEB set up here. You know, you got the Swain already to counter the Akali. You know, I do like the Olaf as a response. Even the Varus is pretty good on the other side. You know, try to stay out of Swain's bubble, try to just poke him down. But then you also have the Misfortune here, who is good against poke. You know, she builds Bloodthirster. She'll be able to heal it back up as long as she can hit something. So I think good responses on both sides. And these are much more creative drafts than I'm used to seeing. So I'm very excited to see how this plays out and how they'll end up rounding it out as we're finishing the last ban here, and then we should be back into picks.
What I really like here is that they saw how little bloodshed there was last game, and they're like, nah, people are dying this game. Well, we're killing people before 20 minutes, trust. So I think the squad definitely realized that they, you know, the Wukong with the aggressive drafts, you know, they kind of fell off a bit. It kind of needed a few more pieces to do more damage. I do like I'm a little confused about the set ban, but maybe it's something specific that TB like to play top lane. But yeah, I'm excited to see what we get for support / jungle, because I'm expecting this to be an Olaf top, unless it's a jungle Olaf. I mean, no problem in there being jungle Olaf, but then what do you play top? Because you don't have counter pick. They're probably picking support here. Yeah, they're picking the Rel. They're playing wombo combo. They like, once you lock in 2+ wombo, you got a combo. It's not always consistent, but when it works, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, Rel is just like kind of the go-to for Misfortune. You know, Magnet Storm holds them in the bullet time and easy win. But there is a lot that can counter the Rel, so we'll see what SYN want to go for support here. I imagine you could go something like the Alistar, which is the pretty common answer. I was also thinking like the Poppy could stop Amumu from coming in, but they do opt into the Alistar counter here, which I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think it's fine. But now is where we decide where the Olaf's going. So this is kind of the most important decision of the draft for SYN squad here.
I think a blind Olaf makes more sense than an Olaf into a Mumu in the jungle. But yeah, okay, well, no, I don't know. I think it's Olaf jungle.
Yeah, I think it must be. I haven't seen a Cho'Gath jungle since like season 4 when you would do weird things with your feast stacks. But yeah, we'll see now what TEB take on 5 here. I think you could just go anything anti-tank. I mean, you have engage, you kind of have frontline, so you can really take your pick here. And it will be the Darius. So very, very spicy draft here for game 2, but I am loving it.
It's not the best matchup into Cho'Gath specifically, but it's an answer just in case they're flexing the Olaf out of the jungle, you know, because Darius loves rather low HP targets, and Olaf likes abusing other people while he's low HP. But if you're low HP against Darius, you just get ulted and die. Yeah, if you give Darius a reset, you know, this Akali and Varus, they're dead, and Alistar and Cho'Gath, well, they're meat shields or meat sponges or meat cakes at that point, because Lord knows they're packing.
Well, what do you think? Are we going to game 3, or is this a TEB stomp here? What's your guess?
If we don't throw at Baron, there are ways to scale, but I think TB are looking to play a very aggressive early game. Especially with the Darius and the Amumu, probably expecting like a half clear gank in the top lane. Because this Darius is fed, it's so oppressive. It's the most obnoxious champion to play in the game. He's got a passive that scales too well on AD, so he can build like half tank as long as he's building bruiser items. He's gonna one-shot you. And Proton did abuse Kuzu in the last matchup, so maybe it's just an elo diff. So we'll have to see. And it looks like Duddy has stayed, so there was no we are keeping the substitute.
Yeah, but like I mentioned before we went to break last time, I think Duddy did really well last game. The Wukong was making a lot of plays. So definitely not like, you know, not a substitute might end up with them getting 2-0'd or anything. I think the sub has been very, very good here. And I think it's really going to be looking at the AD carry role once again. I'm excited to see how these bullet times turn out. I think that can be really hit or miss. And if this is like a poke Varus, you know, lethality poke or AP poke, whatever they end up doing, I think it is going to be kind of the opposite of last game, where it's SYN's ADC who might just get dogpiled on and destroyed in one shot, or flanked by Darius, or caught by a never move, or whatever it may be. But you know, on the flip side, Olaf can also hit Ragnarok and run down Misfortune without hesitation. So definitely looking at the 80 carries here for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll really depend on the jungle activity, because both these jungglers can gank super early, they can be super impactful. We'll have to see what they get done, because the last game they kind of AFK farmed until 6, and then they did their first gank. So here I'm expecting at least a level 3 or a level 4 gank, you know, maybe after the first crab or before the first crab. I want to see more action on the Rift, especially, you know, you have a Darius, you have there's an Olaf and a Kali, you know, you can't just be AFK farming. Olaf is not Lilia, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a dragon guess for game number 2 here?
Honestly, Cloud Dragon's just, it feels phenomenal here, so it makes everyone OP. I'm going to double down on Cloud.
I have no idea why, but I'm feeling an Ocean Dragon. That's what my gut's telling me. Ocean Soul. So we'll see if that happens. Yeah, but now SYN Squad are up against the wall here. You know, TEB could keep their perfect record this game. They get the 2-0. They would just be undefeated so far, 4 weeks in, which is definitely a statement to be made. But SYN Squad definitely have the skills to pull it back, so we'll have to see what happens. But before we get on to the Rift, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, SYN Market. SYN Market is your one-stop solution for buying products directly from Japan. They'll help you buy items from over 10,000 shops in Japan, as well as place bids on auctions on your behalf. They'll even consolidate all your items safely into one box and can ship internationally. They provide excellent customer service in 19 languages, which is why SYN Market is trusted by over 2 million users worldwide. Check the panel below the stream or click the link in chat to try them out now. Plus, if you sign up with promo code Aegis, you'll receive 3,000 yen off your first international shipping fee. So thank you, SYN Market. Please make sure to check them out before the end of the stream, which this could be our last game. So maybe you can browse some items while you're watching, you know, second screen it. But either way, we will see you on the Rift for game number 2. All right, welcome back to the second and potentially final game if TEB can take this one. What are you expecting this time for the early game?
I see a ghost on the Darius. I'm expecting first blood. Darius known for the cheese
Bold
plays.
prediction.
And he should make it happen. I mean, it's to be fair, it's the only lane like outside of like Cloudberry just being AFK in the bush while he's getting dove by Boostis and Wanderer. I think Kuzu is at most risk here.
Yeah, no. I mean, Shogath is pretty immobile. You have a little bit of appeal with the Q, the Rupture, but it's pretty slow to act. So if you flash over it or if you're able to run past it, you don't really have much else. So we'll see if Proton Plat player can get that first blood. Another thing I noticed here was Cloud does have the cleanse this game. So I think trying to get out of those bandage tosses or out of the Curse of the Sad Mummy later on. But we'll see if that ends up having any value.
Yeah, there's enough crowd control here to justify the cleanse. You know, there's the Rel, CC, Swain, and Amu. So you definitely don't want to be caught lagging. Because if you're going the what looks like the Lethality Varus, which probably is the case because of the Arcane Comet, you do have access to the Edge of Night, but building it too early means that you kind of lose momentum in terms of your like 2-item big poke. So you really want to build it more third or fourth. But if you can play properly till then and not like get caught too often, it's really good. But looking at topside, it's it's a no fun zone here for Cho'Gath.
Definitely. I don't know if the camera's going to go there unless some fighting happens, but yeah, it is not fun for the Cho'Gath. Does manage to stay high HP, but Proton Plat player definitely the one in control here.
Ooh.
But maybe you'll break it down a little better than I can. But what do you think about the Alistar into the Rel? I know it's a pretty common counter pick, but it always seemed kind of meh to me.
It's really good actually because Rel essentially when she does the crash down Magnuswarp combo, she wants to finish crashing down. But with Alistar, you can interrupt the crash down itself and push her back, so that way the Magnuswarp doesn't fully resolve on the people intended. She can end up just like ulting Finnair, which is really good. And Alistar is able to CC buffer the crowd control itself through the Indomitable Will. So sorry, Unstoppable Will. It's a fantastic counter at all points of the game. Rel doesn't necessarily have agency unless the Alistar lets her make a move. And in pro play, when you see this matchup, it's just laning phase wise, the Rel never wants to have to press the button. But here we see some reinforcements so that Kuzu can get a recall in. Oof.
Yeah,
whoa,
but Duddy is definitely the loser of that trade, yeah. But you see this a lot. Oh, flash forward, actually, just trying to get onto a Ghost as well. This could be the first blood, as you predicted, but Proton Plat player isn't able to catch it, but still not a fight that either of the people on SYN squad want. So Proton Plat player walks away without a kill, but
Mumu looking for a gap, though.
Yeah, they could get on to Behair here. Does have the flash still. It's maybe looking for that second bandage toss, but it connects anyways. So it's actually Witchat with first blood here. It still goes over to TEB, but just on a different player.
Yeah, well, it's the rule of Blitzcrank. You never flash in a straight line. Because the skill shot is longer than your flash range. So it means if you flash in a straight line, you're still going to get hit by it. Normally, you're supposed to try and dodge the skill shot, right? It's called a skill shot because it takes skill to land. But I mean, if you're gonna let it hit, it's like when we make those ash jokes. Ooh, but Kuzu taking a good trade though. Proton has not recalled yet though.
Yeah, now with the wave crash, it would be a great time to just take that cheater recall as they call it. But yeah, I imagine we'll get some resets. You know, spend your gold is always good. For Darius, I think he is item dependent. You know, he's strong at level 1, but once you get those items, you can really do just a lot. And now I think the longer this goes on, the harder it is for Duddy to come back top lane. I think we've all read the position where you try to gank a Darius and then he just flips it 1v2, just completely destroys everyone. So kind of clock ticking there to help out topside.
Why'd you give my top lane a double buffs? I didn't give your top lane a double buffs. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
But oh, okay. Looks like it's gonna be the squishy Moo, which scares me a little bit because Leandri's on a Moo. I mean, Cho'Gath is a tank, yes, but I don't know. I always personally believe that AP on a Moo is a faux pas. You know, just build a tank who scales off armor and MR for his damage with the tantrum, and then you don't build any resistances. It's just like, you're more than just a bandage toss. You're actually a champion.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll just go like the Leandries and then build tank, but then you're kind of stuck in this weird spot where you don't really deal that much damage, but you also can't really tank that much damage. So you're kind of like trying to walk a fine line. But First Dragon was Chemtech and went over to TEB, just soloed there by Witchat. So nice moves from them. And these pulls have been very clean from Thunder in the mid lane.
He's been stacking a lot of HP. Ooh, okay. We had the level 6s. Could be a little dicey. Ooh, okay. I mean, Kuzu is going to take a lot of damage. The hemorrhage does do a lot. And it's going to miss 2 minions. It's good job there by Profound Blood Player.
Yeah, the spot lane going, I think, about as expected here. I think it's kind of hard for Wanderer to do much because of the counter pick. And Boostus likes to kind of, Misfortune usually likes to be a lane bully. But it is kind of hard when she's outranged. And, not only by the basic auto attack, but obviously by the arrow, there is definitely a ranged advantage for Cloud here. So kind of even lane so far. We were expecting something bloody, but it's kind of just been TEB getting a pretty solid lead here. Just about 1,000 gold, 7 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, if Proton lands another combo here on the Kuzu, I think Kuzu's just dead. Though, so he'll have to be a little bit careful. The ult is available, but Kuzu's been doing a good job of retreating to the turret.
Yeah, whenever you're playing against Darius, the turret is your best friend. That's kind of the only time you're safe.
Yep. And here in the mid lane, I mean, Thunder is doing a really good job landing all those stacks, getting all those fragments. The stacking that maximum HP is important. I mean, you're playing against a Cho'Gath who has an execute on the ultimate, and the Akali who just genuinely has good burst damage. So it's a good thing to build that up. I wonder what he's building into first, though. That's the real question. But we're going in here. Bahar.
Yeah, execution coming out. The Shuriken does land. You definitely don't want to go under the tower against a Swain. So now it's D-Shot here. Has to use the Unbreakable Will, trying to walk out. There is the ultimate Demonic Ascension used. So you don't really want to stay in melee range of Thunder any longer. The stun does land, but you can't really continue the fight. So we just kind of walk away with a stalemate.
And that was what, ult for ult? And D-Shot's flush?
But now no ultimate on Thunder, but here actually nice bandage toss into the darkness. So Akali might just be down here. Exhaust coming in handy once again as Bahar goes down, and Thunder kind of becoming the star of the show, maybe in a second game in a row here.
Yeah, Bahar really tired of getting exhausted every time he's about to get and get a kill. He's like, no, you don't do damage now. It happened 2 games in a row. Must be a bit frustrated about it. Let's see here. We almost have the Leandris on the Amumu. Let's see what Swain ends up building. Pretty sure he has a completed item, maybe.
Pretty close, it looks like, but... Yeah, the Grubs actually did go down there to TEB as well. Amumu, very, very good at taking that objective, so makes sense they did it quick.
Yeah, every time he gets hit, he gets I want to say like a quarter-second cooldown off Tantrum, and because the little Void Mites count from the Void Grubs, it's basically instant refresh multiple times.
I've heard him described as a grub blender.
Oh, that sounds kind of nasty. Grub is fishing bait, right? So, oh, yeah, it's not something you want to imagine. But we're expecting the expected poke is coming out here, though, from Cloudberry. Well, the MF is going to build that Bloodthirster. If she's not given much time or space to rebuild that HP with that Bloodthirster shield, it's not really going to matter much. We'll have to see if when it comes to team fights, these bullet times are going to be more important, because the only one that was used this game was just to clear the wave, just to make sure that we didn't lose too many turret plates here from the side of TEB in the bot lane.
Yeah. And one thing I'm curious about, can we check how many stacks Thunder has so far? Because maybe it's just the camera bias, but it seems like everything kind of has been landing. So 18 stacks. I don't know too much about Swain, but that seems pretty good for only 10 minutes in.
And that's about 500 gold worth of stats.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. And once he has the Blackfire Torch, the Death Hand's going to be off cooldown pretty fast. Normally only like a 5-second cooldown. Goes on to like 4 or 3.5 after that CDR, so going to be pretty happy. They got pushed off the dragon though.
Yeah, that's surprising. I think they just don't know where Witch Hat is, so they don't really want to commit to it. But obviously, us as spectators, we know that Amumu is topside, so they probably could just pressure for this dragon right now. But maybe they want to try and find a play first? I'm not sure.
And Witch Hat too, building quite a nice CS lead here in the jungle. You know, up about 4 to 5 camps. So it's definitely happy here on this Amumu. The Olaf has kind of been getting nothing done.
Definitely not what you want to see for a pick that can be so aggressive early on. We saw that one top lane play trying to look on to Proton Plat player, but that obviously didn't work out. So now you might claim a dragon, but that's kind of the only namesake of the jungle influence here for SYN Squad.
Looks like it might be. Let's see.
Oh, if that's correct, it is Ocean Soul. Okay, I got another one.
Nice. I believe you're in the lead now.
I think so.
We see the heart still done here. The top for Kuzu. Eventually. Okay, bullet time, but no CC there to lock up Cloudberry. So he does the legendary Korean technique known as walking.
But you know, you still have the Chains of Corruption, so SYN could look for an aggressive play if they're able to get on to boost us.
Yeah, but it's just a straight of dirt, you know, like it's not there's no item yet. So it's not that impressive.
Yeah.
Eventually the Varus will have damage, but and we see he's doing good poke to the MF, but you know, it's right now it's a Bloodthirster to Serrated Dirk in a tier, so it's nothing worth flexing about, you know. Ooh, them Death Hands are definitely connected. Oh, Proton, he's popping the Nos.
Ghost, you got the 5 stacks, but I don't think that damage is enough. Maybe if you wait for the dive, but that seems a little bit risky. But I'm kind of surprised there's been no more pressure there so far. But here's Wanderer, does not get the Crashdown knockup, does find the stun, but it's not really enough to get kill threat onto the Akali so far. But a lot of aggressive plays this game, but not a lot of kills so far. Just 2 at almost 14 minutes here.
A lot of close calls more than anything, you know. You know, one auto attack here, one auto attack there, a missed skill shot, and maybe this game would have been a lot bloodier. But we see the first items coming out here. We got the Yomus versus the Bloodthirster, so it's a question about sustain versus mobility. And the top lane, the Black Cleaver is actually pretty scary here, because every time Proton's gonna hit Kuzu, who's gonna run faster. So, ooh, okay.
Kuzu, no flash here, so maybe just calling in for backup, trying to take this fight. But this is not a fight you want. That Leandries does so much damage too from Witch Hat, so it should just be the Noxian Guillotine to end this. If Proton Plat player can get in range, there it is, 1 kill. Now you got the Ragnarok coming out, but like you said, it is really good to execute as Proton Plat player with the double kill. Might be in some danger now of the Akali combo, but the heal is so good. Even the perfect execution 2 is not going to be enough. That's a triple kill once again for Proton Plat players. In the bot side, we have a 1v1 between the two AD carries, and it's actually Cloud who gets the second arrow to pick that one up. And wow, we have 2 very different stories on 2 different sides of the map.
Yeah, he cycled the shots really well, so he was using his stacks very effectively here. Proton getting the outer rim decimates, so he's getting like that max amount of damage. And with that exhaust and the stuns and the knockups and stuff here, we had seen the play. But with that team fight, it's a triple kill for Darius. It's Herald. The Dragon wasn't up to take, but it's also first turret, so a really big injection of gold with the 4.2k. I think from like a 1.5k lead. So if I'm TEB, I'm really happy. You know, like these weird counter picks don't really seem like they're working too well. And so far, your mid laner's fed, and your top laner's fed, and your jungle's fed. So your front line, that's gonna make it really hard for this Akali and Varus to team fight, are in a no pressure situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just looking towards TEB right now. They have about a 4,000 gold lead here, just building off that play. And now Proton Plat player is going to be an absolute menace in the mid game, as long as he can play those team fights well, as long as you don't get kited out. But actually, Chains of Corruption here on to boost. This might be another one down for the MF. Flash forward, and Cloud picks up another one. And, you know, that's a little bit of hope back for SYN, at least.
But at the end of the day, is the fed Darius going to be able to one-shot the Varus? That's the real question. It's like... Because we saw what happened last game, and it was exactly what we said. You know, Proton was able to one-shot Cloudberry last game in a game-winning pre-objective team fight. So, have to see if it matters as much this game as it did last game. But the Fed Darius, very scary, nearing that 2-item mark. Cho'Gath still on, you know, Heartsteel and the garage sale of cloth armors, trying to make things matter. But we're kind of forced to rotate the SYN if we want to do anything, because the MF she's kind of vibing.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, excuse me. I think that the MF is in kind of a similar position as we saw boost us in last game. You know, you're not really doing the best, but you just kind of have to do your job. You know, the rest of the team is winning. We saw the Ashe get pretty heavily cyberbullied in the last game, but still ended up winning. And I think that's exactly kind of the story we're seeing here. But team fight in the bot side, we get another dragon for TEB. Come across the top, but look, Witcher might actually go down on the other side. Duddy tries to use the Ragnarok to get something done, but nice arrow from Cloud to take another, but it's still just Thunder running this over, just like the last game. Flash forward, trying to keep the fight going with that Demonic Ascension, but Cloud actually does get a double kill, but now you're going to be the victim of the axe. Here's Proton Plat player with the Noxian Guillotine to take down that one and go on a rampage. And it's definitely TEB coming out on top there.
Though the gold lead is getting shorter and shorter, you know, this Varus not doing too bad. Yes, he did go down, but nearing that almost 3-item spike. The Manamune about to transform into the Muramana. So it's you have, and there's no tank here. There's no like real tank, because like look at Amumu, it's all magic resist. Look at Rel, it's like 20 armor, so it's you know, it's not enough to justify tank status just yet. We are getting the Abyssal Mass to kind of help the Swain do the team fight wombo, but yeah, no, this Varus is exactly where he wants to be. He knows that Darius's only armor item is gonna be a Death's Dance, if it is a Death's Dance, by like the maybe let's say 4th or 5th item. Right, but there's never truly going to be armor on this Darius. So if you land the Chains of Corruption on him and you do the piercing shot into blighting arrow combo, yeah, you can probably get close to 100% again if you're fed enough.
I mean, I think that's really the threat, is Cloud has to just keep distance and try to not get in range of either the Swain or the Darius. But you know, Baher trying to survive here, but you don't have the tower, so maybe able to use that perfect execution to get away. But Flash and Noxian Guillotine means Proton Plat players unstoppable. But here's the fight that Cloud could want. If you're able to kite it out, those arrows do so much damage. It's actually Amumu drawing first blood here. Does flash forward, so Cloud picks up another one. Kuzu playing frontline very well. Bullet time just a little bit too late, as wow, SYN Squad did pick up the team fight win in the top side.
yeah, it's a matter of, you know, like the Darius is not there. He used his TP to get there to the last team fight, right? So that means he's not going to be able to be there for this team fight because he has double offensive summoners. And while he is getting an inner turret, I believe, he is the only one with like a real gold lead here, right? So if he's not there in the team fight, I mean, like SYN has a gold lead, but this Varus is so fed and this MF is so underfed that it kind of ignores that, right? And there's, like we said, there was no armor on the Amumu, so he was taking true damage. I think he almost got two-shot by just like triple stacks on a piercing arrow. And now we see the armor coming in, you know, but we're already at the 3-item mark here for the Varus, working on that 4th item. MF still has just 1 item, so we're in the struggle bus city.
Yeah, I think that the issue is you see you see Olaf pop the Ragnarok, and you're like, well, we have to kill him, guys, we have to kill him. And that's all you can hear. And then you're not worried about the Varus, who's like half healthing you with an arrow in the back line. And if he's not under threat, you're not winning that team fight, no matter how ahead you are. This Varus is a threat.
Yeah. He's doing really good damage. I mean, Cloudberry was almost the reason why they won the last game too. Till that unfortunate mishap. Yeah, if this Varus is not threatening team fights, I don't really see how they get stuff done.
Actually, Chains Corruption over the wall here too. Wanderer could be the next victim. Look at that damage from Cloud. Just so much burst. And SYN are now ahead in kills in the mid game.
Well, welcome to the life of the support. You know, you get your 1 completed item, you have your little support item, and you've got boots. And well, if you're not fed, that's all you get. A little bit more here for Wanderer, but yeah, no, it's every time that Cloudberry gets to find. Every time Cloudberry gets to find Wanderer's probably just dead. Like, if Wanderer isn't flashing away, he's probably just getting 2-shot. But it's something I would probably like to see here on the Varus. You know, I really wouldn't mind seeing something like an experimental Hexblade. And look, I know it's more of an on-hit style item, but that ultimate is so key to setting up these picks and stuff. And it also gives you good mobility, so it can kind of be like an answer to the Amumu and Swing crowd control. But let's see here, we're getting ready for a dragon fight.
Yeah, this is our first real team fight. We got a full 5v5. Once Bahir is almost here, walking in the river. But here's the crash down. Here could be the Wombo. Bullet time over the top does so much damage. But look at Cloud. Cloud is still untouched. If they're able to play this team fight, it could be good. Boosta stays alive for now. Now is taken down by the Akali. Kuzu is not standing on the front line quite yet, but it is Thunder still full HP in the demonic ascension. Proton Plat player under some threat here, does get the guillotine, but Cloud takes another one. But this might be where the Varus finally falls, trying to fight it out. Might be able to claim Wanderer here. The cleanse does come in handy, gets another one, but will be taken down by Thunder at the end. And that is 9 bodies on the floor. Thunder, the only one left alive on the Rift.
A really good job though by Squirtle Squad at the beginning, you know, like Cloudberry building space, but I mean, like we said, you know, Bahar kind of far behind. It does pick up that double kill thanks to that perfect execution, but you know, once an Akali loses her ultimate, she kind of runs out of steam, and with that Rylai's in play, Cloudberry doesn't really have much counterplay. He's gonna be perma slowed unless he flashes away, and then he still has to dodge the never move at the end of the day. So and looking at the Darius, there's now no Overlord's Bloodmail. I'd be scared. That's a lot of AD.
Yeah, that is definitely a threat. And what I'm kind of seeing here is like, if Cloud stays alive, it could go to SYN. But if Thunder stays alive, it could go to TEB, like, easily. If like those 2 carries are unthreatened for either team or both teams, I think we're gonna keep seeing fights like that, where like they're the last 2 alive and they're the ones who killed the majority of the enemies on the other side. Very fun team.
Yeah. Once again, though, we saw a 0 impact bullet time. I think it hit an ultimated Alistair and an Olaf for maybe like 200 damage before it was stopped. And you just see the MF is not playing this game. She's basically a support. She's there to optionally sometimes get an assist.
Yeah, I mean, no kills so far, just 5 assists, so that's definitely coming true so far.
That's a little bit sad to see, but hey, it is what it is. We do have the Zonias here coming in for the Amumu. Interesting that we built it early, but I mean, Amumu's job is to land the ultimate, because no matter how much armor he builds, he's not surviving this Cloudberry combo.
Yeah, the Varus just so accelerated. Will do more than enough damage to kill anyone on the team. But here's the bandage toss. D-Shock could be under some threat. Does have the unbreakable will if it gets too much, but actually holds it for now. Keeps that all important cooldown. The TEB do not find the pick they're looking for. Yeah, I'm not looking on my end. I don't know if it's me or a storm issue or something else. But
casting. Okay, looks like I'm back, I guess. Ooh, oh, we've got a team fight. Ooh.
okay, I think I'm back if you can hear me. Yes, right into the action. Cloud actually goes down here, so this could be a really good fight for TEB. Double kill, triple kill over to the Varus. Boostis claims their first of the game as Kuzu goes down. And that is exactly what TEB were looking for this whole time. As soon as Cloud goes down, fights are just a wipe for the TEB squad.
I don't know exactly what happened. We see the flash and the cleanse on the same cooldown, so must have just been caught by okay, let's see here. It's a Cloud. Oh, okay, Cloud just gets run down by Proton. There was no surviving that. And then Proton getting the reset, max stacks. They're just dunking on him. That's gonna be Baron. Plus maybe Ocean Soul? We already have the Deadman's Plate here on the Darius. Looking to get towards that 5th and final item. Just a little bit crazy. Darius is gonna be full build at 29 minutes. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, and this could potentially be the last fight of the game. You know, TEB, if they wipe this, they have Baron, and if they get the Dragon, they'll have Soul. So that would be a very, very good spot to be in. 6,500 gold ahead, but Kuzu wants to stand on the front line here. We can look at the Chains of Corruption. Cloud is unthreatened right now. A lot of burst damage coming through. Boosted claims another, but now onto the back line is the Akali trying to get some threat out. Cloud does so much damage, though. Look at the front to back. It's so good for SYN. It actually trades 1 for 1. On the other side, but here's Proton Plat Player doing so much damage. It doesn't matter how well SYN play. Proton Plat Player is too far ahead.
Yeah, the triple kill, the MF picking up kills with that collector, bridging back that gap. But I mean, like, it's 6,000 gold lead for Proton Plat Player. He's full build. Cho'Gath has what, 2 items? It's just it's a little bit of a nothing burger story. It's it's the Proton Plat story today, and it beautiful. Like all in here from TEB, but Cloudberry does manage to get a few key kills. Bahar does get like a double kill for him, almost a double kill for himself, but goes down to the MF. However, Proton
that was 3/4 HP. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's a 13 and 1 Darius with basically full build. That's, you know, it's kind of expected. Yeah, no, it's really just been the Proton Plat story of this game. I mean, Thunder has had a really nice performance too, but Proton Plat player has really just been skill diffing Kuzu in this top lane. It's really been like a non-factor. And now with that recall, I'm pretty sure that's almost full build.
Yeah, I mean, got the Shrinker now too. I'm not sure if he had that in the last fight, but either way, magic resistance will be very nice against most of the members of SYN Squad. And yeah, it's really just about closing it out now. You know, have like a 9,000 gold lead as a team. Your Darius is 13-1. I think one more fight should just be it for TEB.
Oh yeah. Now the base is technically cracked open. They have Baron. And with the super minions, to be fair, they could just push, but I think they want to try and take a good fight here, just to end it cleanly, keep their 6-0 100% win rate going. Technically, if they didn't play week 1, to technically be 8-0, but 6-0 in like games played. So this is really good showing here from this team so far in the Chemtech group. Now with this Ocean Soul, this Darius is going to be really hard to kill. Look at how fast Kuzu's just going to die. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they are walking towards, though, but now you're in the middle of Thunder, and Thunder has that Demonic Ascension available, so you're trying to fight in the middle. A lot of burst damage coming out from Cloud from a distance. Is staying safe under the tower so far, so this could be a good look here for SYN, but watch Proton Plat player on the other side. If they're able to get that Darius, some more kills. Flash from the Ragnarok, not enough for Duddy to pick one up. Thunder is going. They actually do shut down Proton Plat player, so Cloud is putting in a lot of good work here. Get the headbutt, pulverize. Should be Thunder going down here. I didn't even realize. They're
just trying to end the game.
This is in the base. It doesn't matter if you win the fight, if you lose the Nexus, as can they get it one more auto? They do. TEB take the 2-0 despite losing the team fight.
You never really expect the surprise MFX pick a backdoor. It's like they're team fighting. Bro, I've got ghosts. Who cares? I'm ghosting into the base.
Yeah, I didn't even see that on the minimap. I was too focused on the action, and then it cut back, and there the end of the game was. It is a 2-0, and TEB keep their perfect record with a 2-0 sweep. That was impressive.
That was kind of crazy, not gonna lie. The MF backdoor, who had been a non-factor the entire game, picks up a few kills and was like, all right, yo, Darius, I know it's your job to like try to 1v5 every team fight, but just distract him for like 30 more seconds. And it's over.
Yeah, that was all the time they needed. I mean, it was even close there. I didn't know if Boostis was going to get that last auto attack, but they did get it. And look at that, 40,000 damage on Cloud despite losing. That was a very monumental performance there on the Varus. But either way, I think we're pretty much in agreement here that Proton Plat player is player of the game there and probably player of the series. Boostis did really pick it up on the second half, I will say. Definitely not MVP, but honorable mention there for ending the game and for doing well in those mid-game team fights. But what do you make of this series as a whole?
I'll be honest, I think it was just really one-sided. The top side here for TEB just seemed much better than the top side for Squirtle Squad. Yes, the bot lane for Cloudberry and D-Shot looked fantastic compared to the bot lane for TEB. But at the end of the day, would you rather have 3 Fed members or 1?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was a lot of pressure on Cloud there to perform, and I think for the most part they did, but it just wasn't enough at the end. You know, Boostis just got into the base via that inhib and took it down. But I'm really excited to see what both these teams can do. You know, I really think that, especially in the first game, it was a lot closer for the SYN Squad, and I think they definitely played well today, just not enough to get through the behemoth. I think this is going to be a very important team to watch as we move forward into AEL for TEB, still undefeated here in week number 4.
6-0 in 4 weeks for playing 3 weeks of the 4. Like it's really good. It's not been seen much before, but hey, we're at what, the halfway point for the split?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I mean, hey, if they do make it the playoffs like XO, then honestly, I'll be really impressed. But the macro from this team has been pretty good, which has had some pretty good timers for the ganks, for objectives. He's been spot on, and while his top laner has been winning every lane, so it's definitely fun to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what new teams we're going to see next week. We've been hopping back and forth between the Hextech and Chemtech groups, so we'll probably see some new faces again next week. But anything else you want to say before we sign it off?
No, just beautiful job to TEB and Proton Plat Player for the convincing 2-0 sweep in week 4 of the Aegis Executioners League.
Yeah, very well done. Looking forward to see what we see from both these teams in the future. But thank you very much for casting with me today. Thank you to Macros for production. And thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you next week for week number 5.
Bye-bye.
Bro, just use Zen Market.